Shehulk episode 6 is finally out, and this was not the episode I'm sure a lot of us were looking forward to. Now, you can chalk that up to expectations specifically of how the last episode had ended, as well as just getting the episode that we got here. What's going on, guys? My name is Zach. Thank you so much for clicking on this. I love talking geeky movies and TV, all sorts of things over on this channel. So if you are new and you love talking that same stuff, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking that stuff on a weekly, daily basis, all sorts of things like that, because I post a video every single day. So let's talk about this episode in full spoiler detail, like I mentioned. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, do be warned. No Daredevil this week. Last week teased that, and they literally gave us a breaking of the third wall where she goes, oh yeah, random wedding episode. And I'm like, cool. Like, the second I heard that line, I was like, God damn it, they're still teasing that. And it's okay to tease that. And I know as us fans, we were expecting and waiting for Matt Murdock to come into this week. So I do need to set that aside from my expectations and watching this episode. But I gotta at least put it out there that I am a little bit disappointed that we again are waiting for the big major cameo that we're all looking forward to support the show going forward. And to show something that all of us have been looking forward to, a part of the marketing and everything of that nature. And at this point, I wish they never even showed Daredevil was going to be in She-Hulk. That is the honest truth. I know there was rumors and everything, but they really should not have shown that. Because when it comes down to a lot of these Marvel shows, they do not show a lot until we actually see it. And I just find that to be disappointing that we ended up seeing Matt Murdock was already going to be in the show, so we've been looking forward to it. And now, maybe, hopefully, next week it finally pays off. I don't even know. I'm not going to get my expectations up at this point. But talking just purely on this episode on a quality level, this was, again, the same exact thing that I feel like we got last week. This was better than last week's episode, but not significantly better. And I say that because, again, it just feels like a filler episode that adds a little bit of layers to certain things, but nothing really too much to it all. Titania Maslany, like I mentioned, I still really like in this role. But when it comes down to this, I find the show to be fun. But also now it's starting to get a little bit frustrating. And that's where I'm starting to get to. When it comes down to TV, I need more character development with this character. I understand that this is a sitcom comedy show that I enjoy. I find fun. But let me tell you right now, I do not find this episode completely fun at all. I found that the whole subplot with Mr. Immortal was really nothing special and didn't really add into anything. And again, as a sitcom, you have those things, but if you're going to have plot A and plot B is going to be your subplot, at least make it a little bit interesting. It really didn't add too much nuance to me. And I do like those two actresses who are entertaining. And I think their whole thing and their whole policy with Mr. Immortal was, again, fun at times. But every time I just went away from Titania, I just sat there and I was like, all right, let's go back to that. We head back to She-Hulk. I'm like, yes, finally, let's keep developing this character. But this episode was just kind of just beating a dead horse again, that she's single. They have gone through that, and I understand that she's searching for that. She wants that companionship, which, again, if all the things have been talked about, that Matt Murdock might be that is something that would be interesting to see. But she meets this guy at this wedding, and that seems to be fun. I mean, I don't know. And of course, Titania, I always get her name wrong right as I say it, but of course she shows up to the wedding. And of course she causes trouble, but she's not in there enough. I would have rather seen this episode develop that wedding a little bit more, show their banter, show their decisions a little bit more between each other. It just feels like conflict, issue, they fight, that's it. It feels like there's a whole part of that missing. As well as the way that her friend who's getting married treated her. She's a piece of shit. She was treating her like a piece of shit here. And I didn't like that. It's just beating down a dead horse that's just not, it's not fun. And it's not exciting in that nature. And again, this is pushing away my expectations that Daredevil is going to be in here. Just looking on the quality of this episode, I was sitting there trying to enjoy this show that I, for the most part, have walked away with every single week, even though I don't think this is one of the strongest MCU shows, and in fact, I think this is actually the weakest MCU show, understanding what the show is and enjoying it. Out of every episode, this is this is my least favorite one. And I say that mostly due to the fact that I didn't find a lot of the jokes to be funny. Some of them landed and some of them didn't. I didn't really like the B subplot in here. And in fact, I thought the fight scene with Tatiana, why do I get Titania? God, I'm so tired of that character. I really like the performance, but Titania, there's just, again, not enough development there where you could have really started to flesh it out here. I'm not saying to make them friends, but at least just understand a little bit more of her particular purpose to it all. I don't know. It's late. It's midnight, and I just want good quality shows. But when it comes down to She-Hulk, and I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys have really liked this show, and some of you guys have absolutely hated it. This is the first episode where I was like, I'm very indifferent. I literally do not care, and I part of me did not leave this episode enjoying it fully. And that sucks. Not really a lot of the jokes landed, and I just found this episode to be a little bit in poor taste for me. And again, maybe it's not because of the expectations. A lot of it is just due to the fact that I wanted more from this episode, and I do think that these 30-minute runtimes are hurting it. I think 40 minutes would still work wonders. Even though this is, again, a more of a sitcom, I get more character development from watching Community or New Girl or freaking name any other sitcom. I get something more out of those, and I just feel like this show is moving too fast and doesn't exactly know what it wants to be. That's personally my thoughts. Again, I think there's a lot more that they could do with this overall, but I'll be here again next week talking it. Thank you so much again for watching this. Make sure to go check out my Andor review that also went up yesterday. I'm really loving that show. House of the Dragons, Lord of the Rings. We got tons of quality content coming up soon. And again, let me know down below. Do you guys disagree with me? Do you not? Do you actually think we're going to see Daredevil next week? And, of course, who is taking her blood? I'm actually starting to get to the point where I actually do think that is going to be the leader, and I think we're going to get a cameo of him, but I'm not going to get my expectations too high. It just seems like they're really setting up certain things for there, and hopefully we get that reveal next week. But, of course, guys, thanks so much again for watching this, and, of course, until next time, stay classy.